Warning, the following may contain griffins. Join fantasy authors Phil Tucker, Timandra Whitecastle, David Benem, Benedict Patrick, and Josiah Bancroft as they roll dice and take on the bad guys in a game of Dungeons and Dragons. 5 authors, 5 worlds, 1 adventure. It's time to get crit-faced.
Quite a big garden that you guys have been spread out searching around. Okay, it's 100 feet tall and 70 feet wide. I have a wee diagram here to show you, but obviously I will have to describe it to our lovely listeners. So at the moment, Kellen is down here at the south with his scarecrow. He is just above the cabbage patch, and one of these skeletal figures has emerged from the cabbage patch. There's another one who's emerged just above Kellen. Over to Kellen's west, Irina and Master Sunna are in the potato bed. Right over here. In the middle, we've got this lovely carrot patch where Jean and Esmeralda are in the middle of. Unfortunately, on either side of the cabbage patch, 2 more of these skeletal figures have popped up.
Oh, why always you?
Bernard is decimating the northern scarecrow, and he has a skeletal figure popping up beside him. And north of Bernard, we have the turnip patch, where the final skeletal figure has arisen. Now, guys, these figures, they are bone, but there's more to them than that. These beings are heavily armoured, and you get the impression this armour once was lacquered a sort of a white, a sort of bright white, and you can see some symbols of the Morning Lord on it, but they've obviously been submerged under the ground for a very long time because they've been stained. Different colours ranging from a dark brown all the way to black. It certainly looks absolutely tainted, and they're all wielding different weapons. You've got one with a big hammer, a big axe, a long sword. More than that, though, you've spent enough time here in Barovia where you have, if you faced the undead before and you've faced animated constructs, you've had the scarecrows and you've faced zombies. These things move. They're not like something that's been controlled by a puppet. You get the impression that that these beings are very much sort of entities unto themselves. And Master Sunna in particular, and any of the rest of you who've had experience with trained warriors in your previous lands, you can tell by the way that these things are moving that they mean business. And in fact, Esmeralda, as she draws her rapier and she grabs onto behind her back, and she pulls out in her offhand a small hand axe, and she shouts out and she says, "Beware, these are not mere skeletons. These are some of Strahd's greatest minions. We must be careful." And I want you all to roll for initiative, please. Okay. So I will go round the table. Kellen, what did you get?
9.
Okay. Kellen got 9. Jean?
9.
Jean, what's your dexterity modifier?
My modifier for 3.
And Kellen, what's yours?
Mine is +4.
Okay, so Kellen goes first, and then it's Jean. Bernard?
9 as well.
What's your dex modifier?
+2.
Oh, thank you. Master Sunna? What's your initiative roll? Master
16.
16. 16. Excellent.
Oh, good. Good. So it's on a 9. Nice.
So we've got Master Sunna is going first. Guys, it's actually all the ladies are going to be leading here because we've got Master Sunna and then Irina, one of her first sort of forms of combat where she's actually going to be really pushing herself to take part because she seems to have been receiving training from Esmeralda in her time with her. So we've got Master Sunna, then Irina is going to be in combat, then it's Esmeralda. After that, we've got Kellen, Jean, and Bernard, and actually these undead constructs are obviously still pulling themselves from the soil because they are going to go last. So Master Sunna, you're first. So you're in the potato bed. Irina is beside you. She's got her long sword drawn as well. You've got some options here. Now the closest of these things to you has a sort of double-handed axe, and it's 15 feet off to the west. You've also got one about 20 feet to the northwest. This is one that's got a kind of flail. It almost seems to be as if it's been pulled out of the sort of thorns and brambles and roots that have been under the earth. So those are the two that are in most immediate distance to you. 30 feet over just south of Kellen in the cabbage patch, there is another one of these constructs, but it's obviously a bit more of a distance from you. What's your plan?
So there's not one directly in the vicinity where Irina and I...
Yeah. I mean, there's one, the one in the potato... There is one in the potato patch. This is the one with the big axe.
Okay, so I'll attack that one.
Okay. You can see that Irina, she's standing around and she's certainly looking. Although you can tell she's willing to fight. She's panting hard already, and her face is white, and she is looking to you for guidance as well.
And I'll say, "Have my back," and jump into the fray.
Okay. So go for it. So you leap over to the axe wielding thing.
Yes.
What's happening?
With my sun sword.
Okay. Your sun sword is singing in your head as you wield it to strike.
Ah, is it a good sting, or is it like,
it's
oh my
wielding.
god, what
it's
are
wielding.
you doing?
Sorry, singing. Yeah, no, it's jubilant that it's getting to be used.
Oh, it's
against
jubilant.
these things,
Okay. So let's see how much jubilant damage we can do. It's 26.
So it's 26 versus AC. So you certainly cut past this thing raises its axe to try to fend you off, but you cut past that. So do you want to roll your damage?
Yep. That's 6 radiant.
6 radiant damage. So you don't get the impression that the radiantness of your damage. Wait a second.
Hang on. Are these undead?
They certainly seem to be, yes.
Because then I think I rolled the D6 for the normal damage, and if they're undead, then I have a D8 that I also have
Let's
to.
go for it then, because it is undead.
Okay. Then that's 6 plus 8.
Okay, so you do 14 damage in total. So you chop a big lump out of this thing's armor, and a bit of the sort of stained black plate goes flying into the potato bed. Is that the end of your turn?
No, I've got I've got another action.
Excellent.
And it's 19. Oh, it's 27.
27 versus AC will hit. You've obviously disoriented this thing. It's just not used to seeing this kind of speed. What kind of damage do you do?
And 8 this time.
8. And is that including your extra bonus?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Is that you?
For now, yes.
For now. Okay. So you have. Do you only? Are we sure? Because I know we were confused last time. Are you sure you only get 2 attacks? Or is it?
I think it's like it's 2 attacks, and if I do like unarmed, I have another 2.
Let's just double check that, because I'm pretty sure that last time we found that you were supposed to have. I know you can spend chi points to get more.
Yeah, exactly.
But I thought that you also had a free unarmed hit at the end. Let's see. Step of the wind. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong. So you've got your extra attack that you got at 5th level.
Yeah.
I just thought that you had martial arts. Yep. When you use the attack action with an unarmed strike or a monk weapon, you can make 1 unarmed strike as a bonus action. So you can only do this once, but you do get a wee bonus unarmed action. You just always get that.
Okay. Well, as I'm spinning around, I'll just try and slap him really hard.
Okay, go for it.
9.
Okay, 9 versus AC.
Yep.
No, will not hit. So you do manage to. I don't know. Was that a kick you were going for?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you do manage to sort of make contact with the thing's chest, but you get the impression that it's just not enough to push any further. So you hear from behind you. You hear a battle cry, and you can tell there's sort of more fear than rage put into this. And Irina dashes to your side, and with her long sword, she takes a swing at the thing, but she this time the creature does move with its axe and manages to sort of place the long shaft of the axe easily, blocking Irina's blow, and you can tell her battle cry just deflates, as soon as this happens. So we're on to Esmeralda's turn. So Jean, Esmeralda's sort of very close to you in the middle of the carrot patch. So you guys have your 2 whites on either side of you, basically. Yours is, well, basically the one to the west is 20 feet from you, and the one to the east is 20 feet from Esmeralda. So she actually, although she has her weapons drawn, she sort of plunges them both into the dirt beside her, uprooting some of the nearby carrots, and she sort of brings her hands together, and you see, sort of conjuring out of the ether, a crackling of lightning begins to form, between her hands, and she just gives a shout of rage, and she fires this lightning over at the thing, and it actually manages to dodge out of the way of most of the lightning that she throws at it, but still, you can tell that her lightning blast still causes horrific damage to it, just because she's awesome. So, so this thing, the one that Esmeralda is fighting against, it just has a great sword. It's got a double-handed great sword, and she has sort of blasted it, and its head is crackling with this blue energy now that has rippled through it. But she has unfortunately not damaged it as much as she wanted to. Okay. It is now Kellen's turn. So Kellen, you are down here in the cabbage patch. You've seen Master Sunna and Irina. They've taken the one that's off to the far west of you. Okay. They're over here. So you have some options. You've got one with this thorny flail. That's up sort of closest to you, up in the, it's just in the middle of the garden. To the south in the cabbage patch, there's one here with a giant sort of rusted iron hammer. That is looking like it's in the process of lurching towards you. So what's your choices here?
I'm going to go towards the one with the hammer.
The hammer. Okay, go for it.
And I know it's a little out of character, but I'm going to fly into a barbaric rage.
No way. No way. Right.
All right. I'll attack.
Okay.
26.
26 will hit.
And that does 8 with my blood spear.
Okay. So that's 8 piercing damage.
Yes.
Okay. Is that you?
No, I get a couple more. 20.
20 versus AC will hit.
Another 8.
Okay. So we're just sort of... Yep.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. You're just with your spear. You were just sort of jabbing it in and out of this thing. And again, there's not a lot of flesh on its bones, but what you are doing is you can see you're puncturing the armor this thing is encased in, and you do get the impression that it's causing it quite a bit of harm. Your blood spear making this impact with it. Sorry, have you got more?
The last attack was a 17.
17 will still hit.
All right. 6.
Okay, 6. So again, you can tell, much like the one that Master Sunna is dealing with down to the south, even though she's about a good sort of 60 feet away from you. Sorry, no, you're. I'm looking at Bernard. Sorry, no. Even though Master Sunna is still about 50 feet away over to the west from you, you can tell that you both dealt quite heavy blows to your foes. Okay, is that the end of your turn?
Yeah, that's me.
Okay, so Jean, you're back to back with Esmeralda in the carrot patch. You've got one 20 feet to the west of you, and you see that Esmeralda has been just firing off a bolt of lightning across to the east.
Okay, I'll go for the one that's 20 feet away, and I'll do a. I'm gonna probably I'm gonna just do a tiny hut. No, I will cast a fireball.
Okay, so yours, a lot of them, they've all got these different weapons. Yours just has a long sword in his hand, but actually what stands out most about this guy, because he's come out of the carrot patch, actually has a carrot, sort of seems to be growing inside this thing's skull. There's obviously a lot of dirt that's sort of fallen into the cavities, and the carrot is sort of seeded inside it, so he's got a big sort of carrot sort of starting to grow out of his hand. So you're firing a fireball at him?
Yes.
Okay, go for it.
I've forgotten how to do this.
I appreciate your honesty. Sorry. Normally, what happens is we just try to fake the dice rolls and just double check.
No.
The DM has
15.
15. Is that? I think the white has to take a dexterity saving throw if you're throwing a fireball at it.
So I tell you what the how many damage it is?
What's your spell save DC?
Oh my! It is 15.
That's 15. Now you can tell these things, despite their lack of success with Master Sonna and Callan, these things are actually quite fast. But not this one. This one, its ankle must still be stuck in the ground because it got a critical miss. So you, the fireball takes it directly in the chest. I believe you give it 8d6 fire damage. Is that correct?
Right. Okay. Do you add the spell attack bonus to it?
No, not to these kind of spells. These kind of spells, the ones that I've got to roll the save against, you don't modify them, but they tend to be quite high damage. Okay,
so 32.
Wow. So 32 damage to this thing. This is the first time you hear any of them speak, and it opens its mouth. And you can't tell whether it's screaming or whether it's just the sort of the rush of the air sort of boiling inside of it, just like rushing out like a kettle sort of whistle. It just opens its maw and this screeching comes out. You can tell. I mean, this thing has been decimated by your fireball. It's still walking.
That's musical.
It's still walking. It's not out, but it's a charred husk of a thing. The carrot's gone. No sign of the carrot anymore. It's been immolated.
I think Sean would like to do a bonus action if that's possible.
Okay, it is possible.
Can I give bardic inspiration to Irina?
Yeah. So Irina's quite a distance away. What?
60 feet.
Yeah. No, she's fine. Yeah, you can give her that. So bardic inspiration. Okay. Remind me what that does.
As a bonus action, for 10 minutes, the creature can add it 1d8 to an ability check, attack roll, or saving throw.
She will be using that on her next turn.
Okay. It can be used after seeing the roll.
So she, you can see, even though there's quite a distance away, sort of sweat pouring from her face. You could tell that she had been quite slightly devastated by the lack of success of her first attack. Then she heard my voice. Yes, yeah, she does. She shoots you a thankful grin. You can tell that meant a lot to her, the fact that you did that. Is that the end of your turn?
It is.
Bernard, it's you. So you're up here, up just south of the turnips. You can see Jean. He is 40 feet to the south of you. He's fighting his carrot. The thing that until seconds ago had a carrot in its head. You have one of these creatures 30 feet off to the east of you, but there's also one up in the turnip patch as well, roughly the same distance away.
Okay. Sorry. I'm going to. Yes, so Bernard takes out his great sword, which is almost as big as he is, and he begins to whip it around. And sort of half the time he's like churning up the turnips at his feet and chops off the scarecrow, what's left of it, to his left as he just sort of like warms up. At the very end, he thrusts up his blade, and it channels his divinity into it. Imbuing it with positive energy, so it lights up with bright light for 20 feet, giving him a nice bonus to his attacks.
Okay.
And then he is going to charge at. Is there? Can you hold up the map again? Because this is a range thing as well.
So you got one off here to the east about 20 feet, and one up here about 20 feet away as well. Jean is slightly further away. We'll say he's about 30 feet down here.
Where's Irina?
Oh, she's ages away. She's all the way down here. This is like the whole garden's 100 feet. So Irene is like.
Can I charge it that I'm pointing at the screen? You obviously can't see what I'm doing. Can I charge it at the skeleton that's to the southeast of Jean? Can I reach it with a regular move?
What's your movement? This is the
30 feet.
30 feet. No, that's too far away. 30 feet would take you to Jean's. This is quite. It's a big garden, and you guys are quite spread out to do. 30 feet would take you into the carrot patch where Jean and Esmeralda are. So.
Okay. Because I want to cast Bless, but it has a range of 30 feet.
No, you're all fairly spread out at the moment.
All right. Well, I'll have to forego that. I'll charge directly at the one to my east.
Okay. Yes.
Roaring all sorts of imprecations, peppered with some last minute pleas to Desna and apologies for not praying to her more often. And I'm just gonna swing my blade, and try and decapitate it.
Yeah.
So that's an 11 plus 4 is 15 plus 5 is 19 or 20 actually.
20 versus AC will hit. This one has it's actually still rising from the ground, and although it doesn't have a weapon in its hand, it's actually got twin daggers between its teeth. So as you race at it pulls the daggers out, lifts its hands up and pulls the daggers out just to give you this sort of rictus grin, but it doesn't do it fast enough to stop your blow. So how much damage do you do?
So I'm doing it's called a Divine Smite. I sacrifice a spell slot, and it allows me to do 2d8 base plus 1d8 per spell levels higher. So I'm sacrificing a second. There's 3d8 plus it's an extra d8 against undead. So it's 4d8. 2d6 plus 2 plus 4d8.
Okay, I'm trusting you on this one. If you just tell me the final number, that would really help me.
Yeah, D&D Beyond is really making this doable. 4 plus 4 is 8, plus 2 is 10, plus 4d8. 8, 7, 15, plus 5, 20, 6, 26. What did I say the first part was?
I have no idea.
10. So it's 36 damage.
36 damage. So what does Divine Smite look like?
So as the blade cleaves into the side of the skeleton / white, the flash of light just flares out blindingly bright, and there's like the sound of like Desna herself, maybe like ululating a little in the background, and there's like motes of light like just flying everywhere, and it's like a disco ball. It's hovering over the skeleton. It's kind of bewildering and a little overwhelming, actually.
Okay, so this thing's basically, your big swipe of the sword, and you just this as well as the light, you get this. You just hear this shattering, and you realize that the thing in front of you anymore, a couple of seconds ago, had this rictus grin that was giving to you, where it took the daggers out. It doesn't have a face anymore. Its head is still connected to its spine, but really you're just now looking at the back of its skull because you've smashed away, the majority of its face. Now it doesn't seem to be enough to get rid of it, but it is. That was a horrific blow.
I got bonus attack.
Okay.
So I let out a hearty chortle, but you can tell I'm a little bit unnerved because it's still standing. I could have sworn that would do it. I turn to give everyone a wink, and then I swing at it again. This time with a little extra oomph.
He was winking at me. He winked at me.
3 plus 9 is a 12.
No, 12 will not hit. So obviously too unnerved by this horrific face, or lack thereof.
My blade passes where its face was, and I'm like, yeah.
Excellent. Cool. Is that the end of your turn?
That's the end of my turn.
Excellent. So it's time for these things to get their payback. So you've got, Bernard, daggers there in your face, but no longer in its. From the north, from the turnip patch, you see its companion, who as yet has not been touched, raise its spiked mace, and it runs down to you. So you've got 2 attacking you. So Bernard, we're going to do daggers is having we shot at you with its twin daggers. So we're going to go for 13 versus AC.
That will miss.
And 24 versus AC.
That's a little more like it.
Yeah, so it slashes a line across your cheek, trying to pay you back, but not managing it quite as well, and slashes you for 6 slashing damage.
Bernard yelps and looks at it angrily.
Okay, however, its mace-wielding companion, it's trying something different now. Its first attack, it is taking the mace and it's swiping for your shoulder with that, and it manages to get 17 versus AC.
That hits.
Yeah, so slams on your shoulder. You feel the spikes biting into your flesh for another 6 damage. But instead of raising the mace and having another go at you, it opens its jaw and a sort of a purple light. It doesn't quite emanate. It actually seems to be the opposite. It seems to be in some way try to suck in substance from around it, but it's not actually. You realise it's not actually pulling at your flesh. It's pulling at your soul.
No, I don't do that.
It's trying to
it's not the kind of paladin I am.
It's trying to drain the life from you. But yes, you're absolutely right. I imagine it's 6. It only manages to get 6 to hit. So your obviously belief in your deity, as fragile as it is enough to stop your soul from being sucked away. Jean, down with you. Carrot is closing in for the attack. And you can tell that it is doing something similar. It's first up slashing at you with its longsword as it runs into attack, and that manages to get 16 versus AC.
Ow!
So it stabs into your side for 6 slashing damage. But Carrot also opens its, blackened skull from your fireball, and it does the same. It tries to, you see this sort of purple blackish light, and you can feel it start to try to suck away at your very essence of being.
Oh my god, it's another stage manager. I've had this before.
And it manages to get 12 versus AC.
That's the same, but I feel like I'm a bigger man. I've learned so much.
You've got you feel your soul shredded away, and you suffer an extra 5 necrotic damage. But also, what I need you to do is take a Constitution saving throw, as your soul is rendered by this attack.
Oh yes. 20.
20, so you're fine. So although you do suffer the 5 necrotic damage, you get the impression it's not had any permanent effect on your very soul. Esmeralda is getting attacked by her greatsword wielding thing. However, it's obviously put off by the lightning still playing around it, as it completely whiffs its physical attack, but it's also opening its maw to try to steal part of her soul, and it has success, and you can tell that she doesn't scream, but she does sort of grunt in agony as again, same as happened to Jean. Part of her soul is inhaled by this thing, but you can tell that she doesn't seem to be suffering any further damage. Master Sunna, you and Irina are facing off against this axe-wielding one in the potato patch, but unfortunately there's also the flail-wielding wight has not been basically targeted by anyone, and it runs in to fight you as well. So actually the axe-wielding one is going to have a go at Irina, and the one with the flail is going to go for you. So flail goes first, Master Sunna, and flail gets 17 versus AC. Doesn't hit you, but then again it tries to steal your soul, and it manages to get 23 versus AC. So your soul is shredded for 5 necrotic damage, and I need you to take a Constitution saving throw.
Do I add the Constitution modifier?
You should have a Constitution saving throw stat. I think it's maybe in the second column on your character sheet.
Do we? Saving throw. Yeah. Okay. So that's 18.
18. So you, again, are absolutely fine with that. However, Irina is also getting attacked by the axe wielder. So the axe wielder actually totally whiffs. Like she does the opposite. She was obviously inspired by Jean's show of confidence. This thing takes a swipe at her. Instead of dodging out of the way, she actually brings her blade up into a defensive position and manages to catch the blow. However, as she is just see this grin of success blossom over her face. This thing opens up its jaw to to steal the life from her, but she actually spits in its face, and it snaps the jaw shut. She's managed to resist taking any damage from that attack. So Kellen, finally, the hammer wielding one that you have been laying into, smashes its hammer down. Well, tries to smash it down on you, and manages to get 16 versus AC.
Tie's a hit, right?
A tie is a hit, yes.
Yeah, that
so it
hits.
smashes you for 6 damage. Now you half that, don't you? Because of your rage.
Yes.
Yes, but it's also having a go at stealing your soul, and it manages to get 24 versus AC. And
that'll miss.
That hits you for 5 necrotic damage. Now you don't have necrotic damage, do you?
No.
No, and you also have to take a Constitution saving throw.
So glad we searched the garden again. Shoot. 8.
So that is a fail. So Kellen, you actually feel that this part of your soul that has been shredded away by this thing's attack. And you've suffered similar fates from this before. That's a permanent loss to your hit pool. Even if you get healed now, you cannot heal that 5 damage anymore. So your hit point maximum has now been reduced by 5.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, so top of the round, Master Sonna, it's you. You've got Flail is on you, and so is the axe wielder that Irina is fending off against. What's your plan? Remember, you've caused quite a bit of damage to the axe wielding one already. You've chopped away at its breastplate. The flail is untouched and is out for your soul.
So can I attack the axe one and attack the flail one?
You can split your attacks, between
I'll do that then.
Okay.
So
remember, when you're using your bonus
one.
action, you only get 1 bonus action per turn. So if you're doing a kick or a headbutt or whatever it is, you have to choose who to do that against.
Yeah. But then I'll do the one that's on Irina first.
Okay.
So 17 plus 8 is 20.
Yeah.
Something.
20 something will hit.
Yay! And this could be nice. That's no, hang on. I haven't done the D8. Come on. I'm rolling again because I'm stupid today. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. We all have those days. I have it every day, ending in a Y.
Yeah, that's just called today.
It's 9 plus 5 is
14. So 14 damage?
Yes.
Yes, to this thing. So your slice, the breastplate actually falls from this thing, clattering to the ground, and you can see it staggering about now. It's in really bad shape. What's your plan?
Okay. Attack the one with a flail.
Okay.
Or maybe not. That's 15.
15 versus AC will actually still hit. Yeah, these
okay.
things don't seem to be too bothered about deflecting your attacks. They're obviously just out to kill instead.
14.
14 damage. Yeah, absolutely. So again, you slash at this, and some of the thin shreds of flesh that were still clinging to its bone, fly away into the breeze. Anything else?
Yep, the unarmed attack against the one without the breastplate now.
Okay.
It's the axe.
Yes,
the axe one.
Yep.
So I'm sort of like jumping in between and, dealing blows here and there. Yes, unarmed is plus 6. 20?
20 will hit.
Okay, and 8.
8 damage. So you
chop with the back of my hand.
Right, cool. So you chop at the back of your hand and so onto its skull, and you see the fragments of a skull, or the piece of a skull, shatter, but still hold together. It's still actually there, but you can tell it's sort of stepped back and it's in a daze. And as you do that, Irina steps forward and using Jean's bardic inspiration, she shouts out, "For Barovia!" She tries to plunge her longsword into the thing's skull. She only gets what's that? 8. Oh no, she does. She actually hits, and as she does so, the thing's skull shatters, and the white falls to its knees and drops its axe, and the just the bones disconnect and fall apart as if there was never anything there to hold them.
And what does that mean to say over his fallen body?
She can't say anything. She just, her mouth is wide open. She just get this look of absolute amazement, and she just turns to Master Son and she says, I got one.
Don't get cocky,
kid.
Yeah.
And she looks at you and she says, "What? Where? Do you want some help?"
Yes.
Okay.
Target the one with the flail next.
Okay, and she runs to your side and brings, gets herself into a ready stance again, ready to attack. Meanwhile, Esmeralda, she's fighting her, the one with the great sword, that she had the lightning bolt. Now she's grabbed her rapier and her axe from the carrot patch again, and so she's starting to attack. So her rapier, now Jean, you can just see out of the corner of her eye, her rapier is moving with lightning speed, and she actually slashes across the thing twice, hitting both times, and you can see just this patchwork of deep grooves cut into the thing's chest plate. If you bear with me a second, you can tell pieces of shards of stained metal go flying. That she clearly means business. Sorry, 25. And then she takes her axe and aims for the thing's head. And again, she manages to embed her axe in its head, taking a big chunk out of the top of its skull. It's still moving. She's actually left her axe inside the thing's cranium, and she's focusing on it with her rapier. But again, she's caused considerable amount of harm. Kellen, it's up to you. You've got the hammer close to you. You're aware dimly through your rage of one of the whites falling off to the west. You can tell Irina and Master Sonna are moving on to the flail-wearing one. What are you up to in the Cabbage Patch?
Crit Faced is a weekly Dungeons & Dragons podcast. To make sure you never miss an episode, and to get an exclusive prequel episode of the podcast where you can find out what our characters were up to before this adventure began, head over to critfacedpodcast.com and join our Crit Faced fan group.